Mouse PI for Hire came out a little bit ago to a somewhat controversial release due to the large amount of cheese jokes. Pretty fair complaint if you ask me. But we don't care what the masses say. What do I think about this game? Starting off just saying I have never really played a boomer shooter before. I'm not familiar with the genre. This is like the first time I played one. I've never played a Doom game. Now, I'm not too far in. I don't know how long this game is at all. I've only done like a few missions. But the cheese joke complaint, I'm not sure what he's talking about because I haven't really noticed a large amount of cheese jokes. They're there. I didn't hear them and go, really, cheese again? I don't know what that guy was talking about. I have no clue what goes through IGN reviewer minds. Maybe it's like a Trolls situation where like cheese killed his grandma or something, I don't know. Now, the jokes, I think they're pretty funny. One in particular.
What? Steve's gone?
Like a fart in the wind.
Yes, I'm a grown man. Yes, farts are funny. The gameplay, I know it's a boomer shooter and those aren't usually very complicated mechanics. Now, I'm playing on the normal mode. I was scared when loading up this game because I've never played a boomer shooter before, so I was like, I'll play it safe, go normal. But normal mode is like baby mode, I feel. I haven't tried hard, but it does make me wonder, what is the story difficulty like? Because that's meant to be easier than normal, and if normal's baby mode, what is story? This isn't really a complaint because I know I can switch to hard mode and make it harder, and I probably will. But I feel like normal mode should be a bit more even. And again, I don't know how boomer shooters work. Maybe they're meant to be easy or normal. But if I'm in a boss fight and I'm not even thinking about it and I'm winning, I don't think that's intended. Who knows? I could just be a boomer shooter prodigy. I don't think so though. While I'm on gameplay, I want to talk about the lockpicking. Lockpicking in games is like always the same 3 mechanics, and I don't think I've ever seen lockpicking like how it is in this game. And that's pretty cool, that there's still different ways to do classic things. This game is a very quick game, and I feel like the lockpicking complements that very well, because it's a very fast lockpick. Like if I'm blasting through some area and then I have to pick a lock to get through a door, I don't want to spend 2 minutes picking the lock. I want to just quick 10 seconds, boom, I'm through the door. And it is actually 10 seconds, I just looked at the footage then. The levels in this game are really, really cool. Like in the background there's the opera level where you're going through a theater to get to the stage so you can stop the criminals from shooting a cannon at some dude. And just a quick little side note, the opera level is a level that the IGN reviewer got pretty confused at. He refused to understand why you were going after the opera singer, but she's a criminal in disguise who's gonna set off the cannon. Another level, you go into the missing magician's house, and he has an underground secret lab where he makes robots, and I just love how it's a goofy cartoon, which is somewhere I think the IGN reviewer got a bit confused. He was more upset that it wasn't a gritty, depressing, look for clues type thing, which I don't understand. It's a boomer shooter in the style of Steamboat Willie. I don't understand why they're reviewing stuff based on what they want it to be and not what it is. If you go into a game expecting a certain type of mood, and then pretty early on it's very evident you're not going to get that type of mood, stop reviewing the game as if it's meant to accomplish that kind of mood. I know I'm bringing up the IGN review a lot, but it's just because it's the main reason I got this game. I would not have thought twice about this game if not for the IGN review low-key rage baiting me into buying, so W publicity. There's something so charming about watching a grown man scream and cry because his cartoon mouse game is talking about cheese that makes me want to buy the game because it's just so funny. Story-wise, as I said earlier, I'm not that far in, but you know, I'm invested. I want to know what happened to the magician. Why did he poof? Where did he go? I really like how this game frames the in-between the missions. Like, you'll complete a mission, go back to your office, and put it all together on a board with evidence string. And that's a really cool way of deciding where you're going to go next, rather than just your guy saying, he was here, I'm gonna go here next. It's a pretty cool way of, like, it feels like you're actually putting together clues, like Scooby-Doo. Troy Baker voices the main character, Jack Pepper, and obviously it's Troy Baker. He does a very good job. The mouse sounds exactly how you would expect. It's clearly an ironic take on the old movie detective kind of guy. He Loki reminds me of Michael Scarn from Threat Level Midnight. The Office is goated. Overall, as a first boomer shooter experience for me, it's just pretty good. One little nitpick I have is The NPCs don't have definitive animations for their individual lines, so when they're speaking, they'll just cycle through different states of open mouth to simulate talking. It's not a proper complaint, but it's just one of those things that I noticed and I was like, I don't really like that. I'm not going to give it a definitive number review yet, only because I don't think I have enough time with the game to do that. But if someone asked, I'd say, yeah, it's pretty fun. Or one would say, it's pretty gooda. I'm sorry, IGN. Now, as all Dr. Shameful videos do, I'm going to start talking about something completely random. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced was recently shown off, and I feel about it how I do with most new Assassin's Creed games. I never really played the original Black Flag. I would get to the point where it's like 5 follow quests all after another, so I'd just stop playing because I found it really boring. So I'm not really crazy invested in a Black Flag remake, but it's pretty cool because this could open the door to a couple remakes for other old games. As I spoke about in my Force Awakens video, I have played 2. I do still think 2 holds up, but it would be really nice to see it with updated graphics, and I would really like if 2, Brotherhood and Revelations were merged into one game to be a big game. That would be pretty cool, I think. Back to Black Flag, apparently they're going to be getting rid of all of the modern day segments in the game, which I thought would be a universal yippee, because as everyone knows, apart from the Desmond games, the IRL bits are pretty boring. But Dallas Creed, the Assassin's Creed dude, I saw a video where he made a point of saying if you get rid of the IRL stuff from Assassin's Creed, it's not really Assassin's Creed, which I get to a certain point. Obviously, in the earlier games, it's much more prevalent, but the reason they're going into the Animus is to find out information they can use in the real world against the Templars. But in the modern games, it feels like they're just kind of going on a scavenger hunt for funky items. And I could be wrong, I don't really pay attention to most of the modern day stuff now. I got really into it in 2, like with the whole secret symbols thing where you get a ton of information. I thought that was really cool. I spent like a whole hour talking about that with a friend about like all the history events that are apparently connected to Templars. Is really cool. So yeah, it was an interesting point that got me thinking about maybe if they went back to where it felt like there was real weight with what you were doing outside of the Animus rather than just a fetch quest, people would be more engaged or not, and people would enjoy it more. With the Black Flag remake, I'm more intrigued than excited, because I don't really get excited about Assassin's Creed games. I'm gonna play it because I'm a sheep and I really love Assassin's Creed. The game looks nice, the combat is apparently improved, and new missions. Who doesn't love more content in a game you already love? As I said, I never really played it, so I'm not too excited, but it's interesting. Now I want to move on to shows. There's been a lot of shows that came out recently. There was the named Peak Week, which was Mole Shadowlord on Monday, The Boys, Invincible, and Daredevil on Wednesday, and One Piece on the weekend. And for a while there, I fell behind on a lot of shows because I am watching One Piece currently. I'm in the middle of Wano. I'll talk about that another time, but I have a few more episodes of More Shadow Lord to catch up on, but I am now fully caught up with Daredevil and The Boys. And I also spoke about my thoughts on Invincible in my Crimson Desert video. With The Boys, so far the new season, which is the final season, has been really good. I've seen a lot of people saying that the last 2 episodes were filler, which is just wrong, and it leads me to a complaint about The Boys I have. I really like The Boys, but it does feel sometimes that they do a lot of weird things just for shock value. Like with the worm dude in the new season, when he starts digging the hole, he could have just dug the hole, but they made a whole point of making the dirt come out of his butt. It's also kind of happened with Kimiko. They make Kimiko talk in the new season, but she just keeps on saying the weirdest stuff, and it isn't even funny. I realized they do this type of thing a while ago, like a couple seasons ago, but I feel like a lot of people have just now realized they're doing it, and it's bothering them because it's the last season and they're calling a lot of it filler. The reason I like this season so much is because they have 100% toned down that type of stuff a lot. It is still there because at this point it is kind of ingrained with The Boys, but I feel like because a lot more people are noticing it now, it's going into the whole filler argument, which is wrong. It's there in every episode, but it 100% does not take away from the story, and I feel like anyone with an ounce of media literacy can see that. Minor spoiler warning for the new season. Firecracker's death is not filler at all. I don't know how anyone can even make that argument. If a major character is dying in an episode or there are major plot revelations, you're not watching filler. Filler is when it has nothing to do with the overarching story, but them finding out that a certain dude has V1 is not filler. Firecracker dying is not filler, and I find it crazy how you have to explain that to some people. Onto the more positive side, I think A-Train's death and redemption is amazing. Awesome full circle moment, and Anthony Starr is amazing as always. So I just can't wait to see how the show ends. It'll be interesting. Now I want to move to Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Daredevil Born Again continues to be amazing. Season 1 was a bit all over the place because of production things, I think. But season 2 it's consistently amazing. Every single episode ups the stakes. Like, the end of this most recent episode was such a good and intense story moment, but the end of the episode before this one was just an epic fight scene between Daredevil and Kingpin. And the fight choreography and the cinematography in this show is insane. They do scenes that flash back to when Foggy was alive, and they change it to look like the Netflix show to the point where I thought, were these in the Netflix show? And there's a fight scene in a diner with Bullseye, and just the entire time you can see it happening before it even happens. Like, it shows a toothpick and a fork, and I instantly know someone's dying to that, which it's crazy. And then they do, and it's even cooler. If you put Bullseye in a room with Thanos and there's a toothpick there, I'm putting my bets on Bullseye. The show is just exactly what I want in terms of story and action. It's just perfect. I have not had a bad moment watching the show, and I cannot wait for the finale, which I think is this week as of recording. Because we're talking about Marvel shows, I want to talk about a show that came out a while ago, Wonder Man. I, much like I assume a lot of people, was not really intrigued in Wonder Man before it came out. I just thought, okay, so it's a show about an actor who also has superpowers. And I just felt kind of weird with Marvel's track record. I was like, how's this gonna work? This doesn't seem that crazy. And then it came out, and it was amazing the entire way through. I did not know Marvel had this level of acting up their sleeve. Marvel acting isn't bad, but it isn't anywhere near, like, amazing. That was until this show. Even just seeing, like, their eye twitch, you can just tell there's a shift in the scene. I don't understand. I've never seen something like that in Marvel. Wonder Man now is probably one of my favorite MCU things just because it's just amazing. It's simply amazing. I'd give Wonder Man a 10 out of 10. It's such a breath of fresh air, like a step away from all of the CGI fights and the huge battles, and it's still one of the best things I've ever seen. Is crazy. Another MCU show I want to talk about, which I don't think I saw a lot of people talk about, is Agatha All Along. I think the show was really fun, and it wasn't without its good story moments. Episode 7 of Agatha All Along is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen, and it sucks because I don't really remember seeing a lot of people talk about the show when it came out. They could have done, and I might have missed it, but I don't feel like there was a lot of videos or people talking about the show overall. I'd give it like an 8.59, so if you haven't seen Agatha All Along, I'd recommend watching it. It's very good. That's pretty much all I can think to talk about right now. Next video, I'm gonna probably do a whole animated thing. Like, I'm gonna talk about animated movies and anime that I like. And if you don't watch anime, number one, why not? And number two, you're missing out on some of the best media there is. Like, the great shift has happened. You can like it now. It's not weird anymore. The weird guys are the ones not watching it. So yeah, even if you don't like anime, just watch the video. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching and commenting on the last video. I did get a couple comments. It's pretty cool. So yeah. Bye.
Like a fart in the wind.